Today, we're so happy to sit virtually, our first virtual episode with Kat Sheppard, co-founder and CEO of Tote, which is an AI-powered social wardrobe app that's redefining how women get dressed. Before you started Tote, you also ran your sustainable swimwear brand for about 4 years. And that's where you firsthand saw the challenges where women face what they're facing and finding the right fit, trusting style advice, and growing authentic emerging brands. And anyways, we're just so excited to chat with you. Kat, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Start off by telling people a little bit about yourself and what drew you to like this fashion kind of route.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, I previously had a brand, so it was always on my mind of doing something in this space and being able to create something. But I think it goes way, way back. It's always been top of mind from like childhood. I was always interested in style and fashion and kind of like was the cliche kid sketching in like a notebook for, little outfits when we were younger. But as we started going into college, obviously Kat and I both went to school together, and
Yes.
we went to a school centered around entrepreneurship and kind of like innovating in different arenas. And so I saw an opportunity to innovate specifically in the swim and activewear space at the time. And that to me was like the first iteration of how to bring all of like my ideas about fashion and sustainability into a physical product. So after graduating, I started working on the brand. It was called Tiller. And it was centered around sustainable swim and activewear. So specifically figuring out, the best materials to use, how to make each individual piece the most sustainable. So that doesn't necessarily mean environmentally all the time, but like parts of it are okay, like the longevity of the piece and like how often can you wear it? And are these pieces going to stand the test of time? And obviously there were layers about the actual fabric was sustainable and like the way we produced was sustainable and ethical. But I think one thing that people missed a lot of was not understanding that sustainability also means getting wear out of the things you own and making sure that that's really intentional. So I actually went back to Babson for an accelerator program. It's like a women only leadership and founders program. And through that program, I was pushed a lot to figure out what my why was and what I was really like adding to the space. And for whatever reason, it always came back to me saying, well, I want to change how people shop. I want to change how people like think about consuming products, how they think about, building their closet and their wardrobe. And of course, I was there for my brand. So everyone was like, what does this have to do with the swimsuit you're making on
Yeah.
the other end? So that was kind of like the foray into me thinking about what the kind of bigger layer and application would be. And that ultimately turned into this tech product that we've been building for the past 2 years and change. But I mean, it really did start with my customer problems for the brand. And so it's kind of been an evolution. Everyone always asks, like, what was the impetus or like what was the aha moment? And for me, it was just like tiny moments over time that led into certain decisions that led into another. And now it seems like this big swing of like being in marketing when I graduated college to now being a tech founder. But for me, it was kind of this like wave of a journey and it all connects back to one another. So
I love that. I loved Tiller, which was your sustainable swimwear and active brand for those that didn't know, because it was so authentic to you. Like I remember looking up to you and you were always like so athletic and fun and outgoing and it matched the brand so well, obviously. And I would love to hear just like what challenges did you face in building Tiller that you're now like iterating and, going to a different route with Tote. And also, like how did you transition from building Tiller into building Tote?
yeah. I mean, I was really young when I first started ideating on the brand. I actually like started building the premise of it when I was a junior in college. So I was like
Of Tote?
17 of Tiller, the
Oh,
brand.
Tiller.
And so that like initially started where I was like, okay, let's just build a brand. And at the time, I think it was like an underserved area. Like people weren't talking about sustainable fashion as much. That was really like the boom leading into COVID. So the timing was great for me because that was always a passion and an interest for me. And so I started building the brand while I was in school. And then once I graduated, I finally like had the resources and the time to be able to actually like, order samples and all of that. But I think like the biggest learnings came from the fact that I was young and naive. And I think like the element of having that mindset allowed me to go and do it because I mean, you hear all the time when people know too much or like have a lot of fear built up, that's kind of like what hinders someone from taking the risk or making like the jump into a certain space. And so I think that actually like worked to my benefit at the time. Like I literally was 20 years old trying to figure out how to do this. And because I was able to take the risk and I didn't really know what potentially could go wrong or like, how much things could really cost, I kind of went in blind and learned from there. And every single day was learning something new. But I think like the biggest learnings over time that I look back on were that intentionality and like having the authenticity or like the authenticity behind a product or like a brand or whatever you're building is absolutely crucial, because if you don't have that passion, there's like nothing to get you through the hard days.
Yeah.
And I like, to your point, Kat, it felt so aligned with myself and like my upbringing and my background and kind of like how I wanted to bring something into the world. But then that was reflected in not only the physical product we made, but the partnerships we made and like the community events and like everything that came along with the brand and the branding. So I think that's like a big tip and learning that I would like share with anyone who's like thinking about this space or taking a leap into some areas. Like you have to be so obsessed with it in some way or another, or else I mean, it's hard. Entrepreneurship is really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, how that forayed into Tote, again, it came a lot from just like a mix of my brand owner problem learnings and the actual shopper learnings from my customers. But it started with, talking to customers constantly. And like, that's another thing that has been huge for me throughout my entire journey, is just making sure I'm constantly talking to whoever the end user, shopper, customer is. And the thing consistently I was hearing was that people wanted to find brands like mine, like even strangers that would find me online or at pop-ups or whatever. They'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so cool to be able to find like these emerging brands. Like I'd much prefer to support this brand than like a Zara,
Right.
but it is something that's so inaccessible. And for,
Yeah.
brand owners, there's not necessarily the resources to be able to reach that end customer. So that was like a huge learning from the user side.
Yeah.
That people not only wanted to find the emerging brands like me, but they also wanted more information about those brands. Sorry.
No
No
worries.
worries.
Harry. I think it's just the mailman. I'll give it one sec. Okay. Okay. But yeah, so they wanted to be able to find the brands, but also know the full story. And like, there are so many brands out there now that understanding whether it's the owner's story or like how the product is made or any of those details is becoming increasingly important for people to step out of like the bigger retailers and actually like support those brands. And then obviously from the flip side, on the brand owner side, I did not have the budget or the resources to be able to reach the end customer. So like from a scalability perspective, my most loyal customers came from word of mouth recommendations or like
Right.
stumbling upon me and like having that validation that they like found this cool new brand to support. And so kind of combined a bunch of those learnings to put it into what Tote is today. But the initial iteration of it was, more centered around a virtual closet, and virtual try on was really like the first thing that we worked on, because all I heard was, okay, shoppers want more information before checking out. They don't like returning. They don't like, dealing with the do-si-do of like shipping and trying things on and that sort of thing. But like, again, once I started building that, I realized the problem was much more zoomed out. And it wasn't just that, I've ordered and I don't know that much about this product before it shipped to me, but it also is the discovery process. It's understanding their personal style to be able to make those purchase decisions. And I think that there's a layer of like sustainability also, like if that's a common
Yeah.
theme with, if you know yourself better, you're going to be able to make a better purchase, invest in something that you'll love for a very long time, and then support a brand that might like align with your values and might align with your style just in general. And so anyway, full circle, but that's kind of like the thought process that came to lead to Tote.
I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. Like your mission has kind of stayed true. I want to know that. Okay, so Tote So do you like put your clothes from your closet on there? Like tell us a little bit how the app works because we were playing around with it. I want to like actually use it so like you can try to figure out like your personal self. You upload pictures of yourself. Then do you
Mhm.
actually upload pictures of like things in your closet so it can create the outfits? I was telling her it feels like those movies. And we were trying to remember what movie it was. What was it? Clueless where she's
Yeah,
doing
clueless.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you're like literally putting it together and I can come up with like so many more ideas if that's what it does. But please tell us like what it does and how we could like best use the app. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
So basically, Tote is a personal shopping and styling platform with the goal of learning from your existing wardrobe, as well as like the outfits you wear on a regular basis and your social interactions to give you brand, product, and styling recommendations on a daily, weekly, events basis, whatever works for your lifestyle. But our hypothesis is really that because people didn't know like what they actually have in their closet, like the number of times that I'll go and buy like another pair of jeans or whatever. Sorry. Um, yeah, the number of times I'll go and buy another pair of jeans and like then realize I have the same exact pair of jeans. They were just
Yeah.
like buried in a drawer in storage
Literally.
is constant. And so the first step really is like, okay, I want to digitize everything that I have. But we found that the easiest way for people to do that was to share their outfits. And we have an image recognition software that pulls all of those pieces and creates your digital wardrobe for you. And from those pieces and like understanding, okay, here are your closet gaps. You might have like 5 white t-shirts, but no black t-shirts. So like we were clocking that about you, or like here are the brands you shop from, and here are similar brands. There's kind of these connection points that previously have felt intangible. Like it's, everyone has like an outfit folder or an inspiration folder or
Yeah.
something on socials or in their camera roll, but it just sits there and like it's kind of
Yeah.
up to the end user to figure out like how is this all connected. And so the goal really is taking all of those touch points, which we found again the easiest way is getting someone to take a mirror selfie, upload it into the app, and then we kind of do the work from there. But then the other side of it is the social interactions and community piece, which has been huge for us in the past few months. We've been hosting in-person events, but the digital format of that is our style swipe, which allows you to swipe through other users' outfits and kind of get an idea of what you like and what you don't like, seeking inspiration from real, authentic people versus maybe like the Pinterests of the world, which
Yeah.
is great for discovery and inspiration, but a lot of the time doesn't feel realistic to you.
Yeah.
So through all of that interaction, that's kind of how we learn about you. And then what we're about to relaunch is Toto, which is our smart style agent, which fetches like Toto fetch
Love that.
That's
recommendations to all
cute.
of those things. But essentially think of it like your style companion, where if you're like packing for a trip and need a specific list from your closet or things you need to shop for, Toto can help with that. If you want to figure out what to wear tonight and you just can't think of anything and you want a quick idea, that can also be part of it. And then the shopping layer will be, hey, I have, this pair of black jeans. Like, what shoes should I wear with this specific pair of pants? So there's kind of like all of these different angles, both from shopping and styling, that we're looking to accomplish.
I literally love this so much. I'm so excited to actively start using it. And something you like kind of mentioned, which I also always talk about on this podcast, is like nobody has a sense of authenticity when it comes to shopping or buying clothes or this or that. And like every influencer posts the same exact brands and the same exact clothes bag shoes. Like everyone is wearing the row right now. And I'm like, I cannot look at one more girl wearing the same exact outfit and bag. So I
Yeah.
love that this app like truly like not only helps you use your closet and it doesn't make you
Yeah.
feel like you need to like go out and buy something for a certain event, but it also is like showing you where you are lacking. But I just
Yeah.
think it's like real women doing real things. And my question to you is like, do you plan on implementing like influencer marketing? I feel like it's so big right now with every single business and you just see it now, everyone's using it. So I was just wondering if you are going to implement it or what your strategy is for further marketing this app.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because influencer is so big, but it also is such a contributor to the problem we're solving. So
Right.
it's almost like kind of like an anti-influencer platform at the end of the day. But what we say is we want to create a space for, friends to be your favorite influencers or community to be your favorite influencers. And so we take from like an in-app perspective, a many to many approach instead of like this one person that's influencing all of these people. It's really
Yeah.
like oh, I could influence you and you can influence me and you could influence these 5 other people. And it kind of spreads the, I guess, like influencing out into a bunch of different pools. But from kind of like a growth standpoint, we've started to build that program and we're starting on college campuses. So being
Oh, that's
able
great.
to
That's really
feed
cool.
like influence, like people who have influence but aren't necessarily content creators
Yeah.
yet. And again, making these like micro communities or niche communities to be able to promote that. But then, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't escape people being influential no matter what the title is, whether it's like, a food influencer or a style influencer or a lifestyle influencer. There will always be someone who is influencing and inspiring someone else. And
Yeah.
so the subset for us that we found is this like really cool pod of style curators and tastemakers, and not necessarily people who identify as like a fashion influencer. I also have
Hmm.
so many thoughts about like fashion is so subjective, so it's really hard to
Yeah.
tell someone what they should like and not like. But specifically people who might be stylists as their day job, or they might have a full-time job and they just love style, and that's been like a helpful tool for someone online. So from like a distribution standpoint, we see working with those types of people who might not have millions of followers, but they might have thousands, and they have an influence over that group of people.
No, this is a great example of AI actually doing what I think it should be doing, which is like simplifying our life and just,
Yeah.
there's so many different areas of our life and now it's putting it all in one place rather than like, I don't know, doing it's kind of doing the creative process, but it's kind of like it's helping us. It's not like taking that away from us.
Yeah, and we always want to center humans in our whole
Yeah.
process. That's like why social and community and like even like stylist curations are going to continue to be such a big part of why we work. But like no one will ever want to take style advice from a robot. No one will ever want this like generic cookie cutter ChatGPT thing. So we're folding in the layers of the human element while also taking all of like the computational power and like again the lift off of that end user with the AI side. So
No, for sure. I know when you said like the camera roll things, like I have so many friends who have done that or I've done that, but then like it's just too much work and too much of a headache to have to go back and like look at the outfit or you still want to come up with something new. So it's like it's too much and like then my brain starts to hurt and then this is where you guys step in.
yeah,
I want to
exactly.
know, when did you guys start doing this? Like how long does it take? Like what's the process look like for someone who actually wants to go into tech? Because interestingly enough, we haven't interviewed any entrepreneurs or business owners in this space. So it
Yeah.
feels very different. I
Yeah.
feel like everyone's in California.
Yeah.
There.
I know everyone here is a startup founder of some sort. It's
Yeah.
funny, but no, I mean, I think even since we started in March of last year, so March 2024, it has changed dramatically. Like we spent literally the first year doing user interviews and kind of like understanding the space and what we wanted to build. And actually physically starting to build it. But as we moved into 2025, there are so many tools to help people build tech. And so even my co-founder is our CTO. He's technical. He built his last startup and all of the tech background for that too. But even like in the past 3 months or 4 months, he's had so much help from the implementation side with tools like Claude Code and like Cursor and all of those things that are making it so that non-technical people can really build really high quality tech.
Yeah.
So I think like the landscape has changed a ton. It's making it so that the barriers to entry are a lot lower, but I think the flip side is it's making it a lot harder to make a product that sticks and that works really well and that has this layer of personalization, because it's almost like too easy to push something out. So, people are distracted. There's a lot that can be played around with. And so I think from like the journey standpoint, I'm 100% non-technical. I have a business background and marketing background, but I've had to step into a product management, like
Yeah.
UX UI development role, just through all of this. And it makes it feel like totally possible for someone like me to have a company like this because of all of the tools that are out there. So that's been really incredible. But I also think that from the actual user side, or like what we're trying to accomplish, we are just uncovering like the big problems. Like we're just getting to that now because we have our base foundation, we have our user base, we have like our technical shell. I keep saying like we've built the box and like the outside layer, but we have to now start filling the box with like all of this really great data personalization. And that's the part where I'm like, I don't even know how to wrap my head around this. Thankfully, I have my co-founder as a partner there, and we have so many great connections to the space. But this is really where the battle begins. And so a lot of people will ask, like, if someone comes and says they're a competitor to you or like has a really similar product, like, what are you worried or anything like that? And I'm like, actually, no, because the problem that does arise is how do you keep people around? How do you actually drive value? And like, people think this space is so cool. We get it all the time. Like, it's not an issue of getting people interested in it. It's about changing like the psychological behavior of how people shop and how they interact and what tools they use on their phone existingly. So
Absolutely. I love that. I mean, how many people have a wellness podcast, right? Like it's about like you and what you bring to the table and if people like align with you and your values. So I really like that you mentioned that. Like you mentioned, when you're starting a company, like which you started almost 2 years ago, like people's pain points, I imagine change, but what has been like the constant thing that women are like, okay, I need this app to solve X? Like what has been exactly what you think is women's largest pain point in wanting to use this app?
Yeah, I mean, we've found a really specific subset of our target audience that we didn't necessarily expect to uncover. But when we started doing our community events over the summer, we did one in New York, we did a bunch in SF and some in LA. And we, first of all, got an insane response. Like every single event was massively sold out. All of the videos went like mini viral. Like it was just like a thing we didn't expect. But what the common thread was like a lot of the people showing up were girls that work in big tech jobs, or like they have a 9 to 5, they like work in finance or accounting or in venture, whatever that might be. And they are like the only woman in their org that really like, understands style or cares about it at all. And a lot of the time they felt almost like silenced in their creativity, where like, and I'm sure you guys have felt this at some point or another, where you feel like slightly out of the norm, and so you kind of start to like, I don't know, like fit into the mold of whatever environment you're in. But we started to see that theme, especially in New York and SF, where people would come because we're creating a space that like doesn't exist for them. And like there are people who have their 9 to 5, they're not changing, they're not trying to start a company or get into a creative field. So like the events that they're invited to and like the things that they have on their calendar on a day-to-day basis are not giving them the opportunity to dress the way that they want to. But then on the flip side, they also feel like they have the disposable income and they have the time and they have the energy to learn more, but they're just not surrounded by that space. So they want to figure out, okay, like how can I get that style inspiration? How can I find those emerging brands without pouring like all of my energy and like changing my entire lifestyle and personality for that? So I think that's been like the biggest target audience like learning we've found. But from like the actual I guess like value of the app standpoint, it really is taking the mental load off of figuring out what to wear and what to shop for, and cutting through the noise for the hundreds of thousands of products that are out there for people to discover on their own. And it's not for a lack of, sorry. It's not for a lack of availability or options. Like there are so many brands that are starting every single day. It's for the lack of personalization. And so I think it's really the combination of the shopping and styling. It's not just, okay, like here's more ads for the stuff that you should buy. It's, hey, we've taken the time to learn about you to be able to fit this into your life in your specific bubble. And people always ask like, well, are you styling or are you shopping? I'm like, it literally goes completely hand in hand. There's no way to have style without buying something new. And there's no way to have, or I guess I shouldn't say that. You can definitely have style without buying something new, but like people are not going to stop shopping. Everyone loves to like add to their collection. It's a pastime and it's a hobby and interest for people. But you can't have shopping without learning your style and understanding why you're buying that thing. So I think being able to take that mental load off, and then in a really easy, digestible, and like recurring way, whether it's daily or weekly or monthly, you can come to us and do any of those actions, whether it's like, hey, I need to start from scratch and I don't have anything in my closet that I like, please help me build my wardrobe. Or if it's, I love my closet, I love my wardrobe, I just want to find this new piece and I want to make sure it fits well into what I already own. And I don't want to spend, tens of thousands of hours trying to find that thing.
Right.
No, for me, I feel like it's like the mental load. Like how many times I'm sure all of us, like we walk in, we're like, I have nothing to wear. And like you have so much to wear. And maybe you like just need like exactly like a little piece, but you can wear it with like an old pair of pants or skirt or whatever, and you can make a whole new fit out of it. And it's just like it's exhausting. It's exhausting when we already have it's like decision fatigue.
Totally.
But I feel like that's where it really like calls to me. So I'm gonna start using it. Okay.
Yes, please.
From like a business perspective, how many people are on your team? Like you mentioned your partner CTO, like you guys complement each other very well. And we love to ask other founders, like, what do you look for in a partner? It's something like either that you complement each other, or like how many people do you have on your team? Like just like to see like how you guys built this.
Yeah. So we started with just my co-founder and I. We actually had a third co-founder in the beginning, but he had to leave for personal reasons. But basically, like I, as a business marketing person, needed to have someone technical to physically build it. And people have different opinions on this. Some people think that you could just like hire talent for that. But I think that having the partnership where we have equal ownership and we have equal buy-in has allowed us to build such a strong product, because it's not just me saying, hey, go build that,
Yeah.
like here are your hours, and like you leave. It's kind of this like omnipresent, we're always changing, we're always iterating, like he's pushing stuff in the middle of the night, like that really is the dynamic there. So finding a partnership that is symbiotic in that way has been really important, but also like I think outcome wise and like what we want out of this and like how we live our lives and what we're interested in is definitely more important than people realize from a co-founder duo. And like if I had found a co-founder who didn't understand anything about my lifestyle, and like I'm not a grind all day and night kind of girl. Like I need rest. I like going on vacation. I like doing all the things in my daily life. And I have so much going on in my personal life that like I need to have space for that. And so if I had found someone who didn't understand that, I don't think we would have made it this far, because there would always be some sort of piece of not, maybe resentment or not understanding the other person fully. So we met through a mutual friend, actually. So that helped a lot. Mutual Babson friend, actually. But we share a lot of hobbies and interests in that way. But then we're like so different personality wise. We're so different skill set wise. And that has been kind of the complementary element. From a team perspective, we had a very small team from like earlier this year onward. We have a lead engineer, a lead designer, and like a head of social who have helped immensely. Like I can't even explain. They kind of have just like bought into this journey with us, are taking pennies on the dollar to just be part of the vision. And it's just been like incredible to have that kind of support. And I think that's like part of the passion element too, is like we're passionate about it, but when we find people that are equally passionate about it and fully understand the vision, it's just like the coolest thing ever.
Wait, why is the social like such a big deal? I feel like you like lit up talking about this addition.
Sorry, one sec. Can you hear my dog barking?
No.
Oh my gosh, he's so loud barking downstairs.
No,
no,
not at all.
Okay, good.
Because we were just talking about like how social media is so important actually like earlier, but now that you say that, you're like, oh, it made a world of a difference, and I want to know like from your perspective, like why do you think it made such a difference?
Well, your branding is beautiful.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's all my designer, Jess, but like social has been the core of why we have anything for Tote, period. We started sharing probably like late last fall, maybe like not even a year ago, honestly, probably December of last year, thinking not much of it. And we found this like niche subset of the fashion tech community who loves all these people that are innovating in the space. And so one of the first things I did was go out and find my social media manager. I posted a TikTok. It like went insanely viral, and I got literally like hundreds of applications for a part-time social media role. Literally, I think it was like 350 plus people.
Is it remote?
There. It was remote. It was like literally part-time. And so that was kind of like the first moment where I was like, okay, people are really interested in this space. This is like, who knows what's going on. Ended up finding my social manager. She was based in LA at the time, and actually like changed our whole structure of everything, allowed us to kind of solidify as a leader in the space. And that coincided with us being able to, have events, and like people found us through TikTok and Instagram for these events where like I was tabling alongside the people that we were like doing market research on for the past 2 years before that. And, people who I look up to in the space and listen to on podcasts. And there were opportunities that just presented themselves from being out there on social. And so that was our signal to just like go all in and build in public. So I then started my founder account, which I started posting and building in public in probably April of this year. And that has been equally successful to our other account. It's not like we have like, hundreds of thousands of followers.
What's your secret sauce?
It's really just being authentic. It's like the craziest thing. It's me talking to the camera and people wanting to hear our story. But that's where our lead designer came in. So she was the brains behind all of the branding and all of the incredible kind of like look and feel of the actual app and the product itself. And then, there are so many partnerships and like influencer connections and our events and everything that have come through social. So I can't say enough good things about the social element from like the outside perspective, but that has definitely influenced how we have built the social pieces within our app too. So
I saw you post with Jules Jacobs. Is her name Jacobs or Jacobson? Jacobson, yeah. I like have followed her for so long on TikTok. I love her. Yeah. Is she involved in Tote at all, or was she just kind of like posting and promoting?
Yeah, so we actually acquired their company. They had a sustainable marketplace previously called Together. And if you follow her, they just had their first baby.
Yes.
They had a complicated pregnancy. So about like now it's almost a year ago, they were pregnant with their first baby, knew that they kind of needed to spend all of their time for the entire pregnancy and like wanted to just be present in this phase of life. And so they started exploring opportunities for people to acquire their business.
That's so cool.
And I was like on the list for whatever reason. I was connected with them beforehand for my brand. I was like on their marketplace for the website. We just stayed in touch over the years and always had like similar learnings. Like their marketplace, the whole idea was that they were curating vetted brands to be able to share with their community, but it came in the form of a like shoppable marketplace on like a Shopify site. And the goal with Tote is really similar. It's just doing that at like a much bigger scale. And so they saw that and saw like what we were building, and it ended up being the perfect partnership. And so we ended up acquiring their customer base and their social accounts and all of that. So that was like really crazy. But yeah, they've been really supportive, and they are not involved in the company now, but have always just been like a good partner from that acquisition.
It's so cool. It's like when you're so in alignment with your path, these like opportunities fall into your lap. I'm air quoting for people that aren't watching me. But let's talk a little bit more about startup life, which obviously we talked so much about at Babson. But being an entrepreneur, like starting these businesses, for the people that want to do this but are like, oh, I'm not sure like how to go about funding, like what was your approach with Tote for that?
Yeah, so we haven't raised any like institutional capital yet, but we did raise friends and family money, which again, like not to say it fell in our lap, but like we didn't actively seek to start asking people. I think because of what we were doing and people being interested, they just started like asking about what our journey was and our path. Obviously for some of the people we like approached and were like, hey, like would you want to support our journey? But for a lot of it's a lot of honestly my co-founders network and friends in SF who have been just part of the space in some way and just wanted to support. So that's been keeping us afloat to date. But we're figuring out if fundraising in the next handful of months makes sense for us, if this is something we just want to like build a great product and start generating revenue on our own. But yeah, TBD on all of that. I think it's so individual to each business and to each person, because I mean, while capital and like taking on venture money or angel money can totally change the trajectory of your business, it can also totally change what your values are and like what, you know, is important to you, you have people who now own a part of your company and have a say in that. So I think people are quick to take the money and not necessarily like really dive deep into the partnership element of it of
Yeah.
okay, is, you know, this investor going to be able to take us to the next level? Are they going to make the intros that we need to make, or, you know, push us to improve the product? On the flip side, I have friends who have investors who like don't understand the problem at all and just are a
Right.
check, and they end up, you know, maybe not understanding the longevity of the company. And that's also a relationship that will persist for years and years without maybe the benefit that you necessarily saw from the beginning. So it's so personal. And I think for us, my co-founder has gone through this before and had a venture backed company before this. And he, you know, went through Techstars and like did the really tech stuff. And so I think because of that, he also understands that the people that we decide to partner with have to just be fully aligned with what we're building and understanding us. And honestly, I think in this phase, I'm just not in the business of convincing someone that they need to participate. It should be the other way around, that they see this incredible opportunity and want to join in. And yeah, so we'll see where all of that shakes out.
What have been your biggest challenges with Tote?
Oh my gosh. I think as a non-technical founder, it's been, I think the initial, you know, building of it and trying to wrap my head around how this all works was a really tough challenge. That stopped when I found a technical co-founder, so that was
Yeah.
great. But I mean, I think it really is like the day-to-day wondering of when something's going to work and if something's going to work. And, you know, I again have so many founder friends who were consistent and did all the right things for years, and then just one day, you know, there was like a viral video or something that like pushed them over
Yeah.
the edge. And so it is just like this weird wondering of, you know, we are doing so much and we're building this incredible product, but you really just don't know what's going on in the space and how that all will shake out. So it's really a mental game. And I think for anyone who's like been a founder for a while and is kind of like out of that first honeymoon phase, it's, you know, realizing that this is a long haul journey, and like who you're deciding to partner with and what your kind of like team looks like and all of that is not just like a blip in the radar. This could be 5, 10, 15 plus years of your life that is dedicated kind of all into whatever this goal is. So just, I mean, I'm used to it because of the brand, but it's just coming to terms with like, okay, we're doing this again. We're on the saddle. And again, it ties back to, you know, making sure that you're passionate about it because it's extremely challenging. And it's kind of like a constant battle with yourself of like, why am I doing this? But then being like, there's no other way. Like, we have to do
Yeah.
this. So
When you say you're passionate, like are you passionate because of like the mission, or are you passionate just like you genuinely love your product, like you love Tote?
it's both. Like, I
Yeah.
think I am the end user. So it makes it really
Yeah.
easy for me to kind of like sing it from the rooftops because I want this to exist so badly.
Yeah.
And like, I'm able to steer the direction of the actual product itself. And the current product, I texted my co-founder. I'll like send you guys a screenshot to put in like whatever your marketing materials. But I literally texted my co-founder the other day being like, just so you know, I love our products so much. It's literally my
Yeah.
dream. I can't wait till we make it more like, it's like so cheesy to say, but it's true. But I
Yeah.
think like the ultimate mission is what drove me to even get here, because I have shifted my entire view of like how I shop, how I consume products, what I see as style, how I like think about my wardrobe. And not that I'm not an influencer, but like I definitely have seen the influence on my friends and my family and people who like are in my orbit of like,
Yeah.
okay, there is a different way to do this. And so my goal with that is really like taking it to a much wider scale, and not only just making it you know, making people aware of it, but making it a tool that is super easy to use, and like making it so that there's no excuse to not try to live in this more conscious way. And like no one likes talking about sustainability and no one likes talking about like
Yeah.
saving the environment because there's always like so many like crunchy things that go along with it. So I don't even see it that way anymore. I just see it as like, we're in 2025. We need to think of a better way to consume. We cannot just consistently be buying trash clothes and throwing
Yeah.
them into landfills. Like, it just seems outdated in many ways. So if we can be part of that journey of like reshaping how people think, that is the part that really is driving me on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like I live in a one bedroom apartment and I'm just always like overwhelmed with all the stuff in here. And I'm like, what do I literally need to buy? I don't need anything else. Like, why do I even continue to shop? And then I just get so like frustrated and I want to like basically throw everything away.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I think this
Yes.
is so helpful. But where do you see like fashion and AI heading just over the next few years? You're obviously more involved in the space. So I'd love to
Yeah.
hear your take on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the biggest themes are going to be around personalization. So, like, people really just understanding themselves and then getting recommendations because of that. I think like circularity and resale and rental and all of that is huge. And there are some other founder friends are doing like amazing things in those spaces. Like, Benny is like for resale, Pickle is for rentals, like all of those different companies that
Yeah.
I've seen from like literally day one growing. It's
Yep.
just amazing. And then I think in general, there's going to be a shift in how brands also buy into this. And like you're kind of starting to see which bigger players are looking to innovate and looking to work with startups and looking to kind of like change the mold. Because I think fashion brands are very archaic, is like how people describe them. Like things are still written on a piece of paper and then like thrown to the manufacturer and this and that. It like feels like a very outdated system. So I think there will be a shift from the actual corporate side of things where people are realizing, having resale baked into your platform of your own products is not only a huge business opportunity, but that kind of closes the loop for you guys. And honestly, just like from a systems perspective, making sure that forecasting and like the way you're manufacturing and all of that is smarter, just from a bottom line perspective, is going to be huge too.
I want to talk also about your community events. Please tell us, like, how did you start your first event? What happens at these events? And can you have one in Miami?
Yes, I would love to. Yeah, so the first event we had was actually in SF. I was not there. My co-founder, who is a man, hosted it and everyone was like, "Where's Kat?" But I literally just posted about it on TikTok. That was like the first time we saw that format of posting work. And we literally had like hundreds of people RSVP for
What do you mean?
this.
Like you posted it on TikTok and that's how you promoted it?
Yeah, yeah, we
On
literally
Totes or
posted
on your personal?
on I think for that one it was on my personal. So
Wow.
actually I can't remember, but it was on one of the two, but it was me just like talking to the camera
Yeah.
promoting it. And we got a lot of responses. That initially was going to be like the start of our closet swap or like a closet sale series.
Oh, cool.
Um, we had that first event. It was awesome, but like the logistics of a closet swap are insane.
Yeah.
So we're actually
Yeah.
talking to a couple of companies that do the management of it and hoping to do another one of those. But I was on the East Coast for the summer. And so I was like, okay, let's do this in New York. Like, I'm here. Let's see if like we can partner with some of our favorite like New York fashion tech companies. And so we put that together, again, having no idea if people were going to show up. I don't live there. Same thing, kind of like blew up. We had, I think,
Wow.
350 RSVPs. We could only
That's a
let like
lot.
in. And so that was kind of the start of us being like, okay, this is like a repeatable format. And that event was super simple. Like we got, a tequila sponsor and like another drink sponsor and literally just had people come and meet each other. Everyone came alone and met friends and left
Wow.
with like business connections. Like it
Wow.
was like the vibe was just insane. And so we realized that it really is that simple, that this community just wanted a place to meet in person, get dressed up, and like learn more about what's going on in the space. And a lot of those people converted to users and just like being part of our digital community as well. And so then we repeated that in SF. We just had our Tech Week event, which had 1,000 RSVPs. We booked a room for 75
That's a
people. So
lot.
like it just is like
For
showing
75
that there's
people?
yeah, we like only could let
Oh my
75 people in the
God.
room. And so I think we're excited to host bigger and bigger events, but it's like not slowing down. There's not like these people are not repeats. Like it's not like, they're waiting for us to post. It's new people every time.
Yeah.
And so creating that format is really interesting and has been really exciting for us. But again, it just underlines our focus on the community and social piece, that it's just not going to go away. Style is social, it's in
Yeah.
person, and it's getting dressed to go out of your house. And so I think
Yeah.
like being able to create those formats is really important for the growth of Tote too.
That's
So,
incredible.
do you market the event as just like other girls interested in fashion and tech, like come meet each other, drinks will be here, and that's like pretty much it?
Literally, that's it. Like,
And do
it's
you
like if you're
speak at the
interested in
event?
tech, yeah. So the usually we'll just do like an intro and like, tell people about Tote, and they will come up to me and like want to learn more, and like we onboard them and that sort of thing. But the SF event we just had, we did a panel. And so we had a bunch of,
So cool.
influencers and founders in the space. We had a girl from like the Google Gen AI team who
Oh,
like worked on
wow.
their virtual try on in the panel. So again, a lot of the topics are like we called it the future of fashion and technology. So it's around AI, it's around circularity, it's around personalization, all the things that I just mentioned in the future, but getting everyone's unique perspective and kind
Yeah.
of sharing that with the room. But the room is filled with people who are, working in tech. They're like engineers, they're people in venture. They want to like understand the space, but it's just out of like a hobby and an interest for most of them. It's
Yeah.
not their job. And, maybe they eventually want to get into the space and are seeing that there's an opportunity here. And honestly, like because all of us early fashion tech companies are just like planting the seed now, it's like those people that are coming in early are, when we are hiring and we do raise a bunch of money and can bring on bigger teams, they'll be the first that we look to because they've just been understanding and in our space for so long. So I'm excited for that.
That's
Wow.
incredible. I feel like that really shows that, I mean, you're speaking to a lot of people and like a lot of people are interested. That's
Yeah, I
crazy. That's incredible.
totally didn't expect it. Like we literally thought that maybe like I was my New York event, I was literally planning a style and sip walk or something, and like I was gonna have like 10 people show up. And so that totally changed the plans for that. But yeah.
Also, because like the amount of people who actually like take the time to like go to an event and like it kind of takes effort. So it means
Yeah.
like if they're showing up, they really want to be there. And also imagine all the people who are like are genuinely interested but like couldn't make it or just like I don't know, didn't want to go that day, but they still like love the idea and the product and the conversation.
Yeah.
Um, wow, that's really cool. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Well, we got to our quick fire round of the episode, which is fun. So we'll get into it. Do you want me to start off? Do you want to
Yeah,
start off?
start it.
Okay. What's a closet staple that you can't live without?
Oh, I have this like vintage Gucci boat bag that I got literally like for a
Mm.
great price, and I wear it all the time. It's so cute. I'll send a pic.
I love that. Your personal style in 3 words.
I would say comfortable, sporty, but simple. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Actually, maybe that's wrong. That's like not really right. Like eclectic maybe is one of them.
That's the opposite of simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like simple but eclectic, but comfortable.
I'm with you on the comfort. I have to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
What's a fashion founder you admire most, and then what's a tech founder you admire the most?
Okay, if like fashion as in like a brand.
Yeah, or maybe like just a person that you look up to.
Okay. Um, I would say like either Tory Burch or Rebecca Minkoff or one of those fashion designers who now has some sort of platform or foundation for female founders. I feel like they're the first to fully see the vision of like, okay, if you support women in these earlier stages, they can really blossom and grow. So they're both incredible. And then on the tech side, um, I mean, it wasn't initially tech, but Ty Haney now has a tech platform, and she was like always just such a trailblazer. I loved Outdoor Voices. That was like such an inspiration for starting my brand before Tote. And then she got into tech around the same time that we did. So it's been cool to follow her journey.
Oh wow.
So cool. Favorite piece of clothing that tells a story.
Oh, I'm like, my closet is like up here somewhere.
I
I
don't even know how
Um,
I'd answer that question.
yeah, I don't know. That's like so hard. Actually, well, I'm getting married next year. So like all of the pieces that I've sourced so far all have just like this crazy story behind them. Um yeah, so I'll go into this is not rapid fire, but my
No.
dress that I'm gonna wear for my welcome party is handmade by this designer. We're getting married in Menorca, Spain.
Oh
But
my God, that's
and the place
amazing.
was based in Spain. I had no idea. I just like had followed her for years. And so it kind of like ties into the whole theme of it without even realizing.
Wow.
I love that. I was just in London and I went to this like vintage pop-up that's there like not every Sunday. Sometimes she's actually in the US, but I tried on this dress and it's like, I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect for my welcome party. And it's like from the 1920s. And like when you're really like taking time to source clothing and outfits, it's so much more meaningful. Like I felt just like, oh my God, this is actually so nice. Like nobody's gonna have this. I didn't end up buying it, but I was like, nobody would really have this. Like it's so easy to go into a designer store and spend the same amount of money, which like everyone has access to that. And it kind of just like one of 1 million.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, all my looks are either like handmade, one of a kind, or vintage. Yeah, and I didn't do it on purpose, but like that's just naturally how I shop. And yeah, that's ultimately what happened. So
Where's your favorite place to shop?
the real probably like that's also cliche, but I'm just like a real eBay fiend for secondhand and vintage. Brands wise, I love Damson Matter. I love American Vintage. Those are kind of like go-tos. Lately, I've been like loving Gap. Like weirdly,
Love.
Gap has so much good stuff lately. And then honestly, it's like so hard for me to pinpoint brands because I just like find smaller
Yeah.
brands and like buy a little bit from everyone kind of thing. So
I love that.
No, amazing. Last
Wait,
question.
yeah, you say it. You always say
Okay.
it.
Well, so we always end every episode with basically a homework assignment for the listeners, which is something that they can actually do and implement into their lives this week. So like what's your homework assignment for our listeners this week?
ooh.
It can be
I
anything.
It could be anything, like something to do, something, yeah, anything.
Okay, I love that. Recently, I have been making lists on like of everything that's on my mind in my phone. And I found that and honestly, writing it out on paper is even better. But I find that if you just kind of like dump everything that you're thinking about onto a page, it makes it feel less overwhelming. I think this is like a Mel Robbins thing, but like it's
Oh,
one of those like inspirational people's thing. But I started doing it and actually helps so much, especially for me. I never have like a clear line of thought anymore. There's too much going on in my brain. So doing that, it just like shows, okay, this isn't so scary. It's just my thoughts.
I love that so much. And if I don't do that, I literally like wake up in the middle of the night. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't email my landlord, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Literally.
but if I wake up the next morning and I write it all down, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to forget. Cause even if I didn't cross it off, it's like written there and I like know I have to do it.
100%.
I love that. Kat, thank you so much for speaking about Tote. I can't wait to use this app every single day. It is like one of the best things ever.
Uploading pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Every day.
That's it.
Wait, it's gonna start to notice that like I go weeks where I like don't want to go through like the mental fatigue
Well, it's
of
gonna help
wearing an outfit that I wear. Like I have the pants in 3 different colors and I wear like the same t-shirt with different colored pants, and when I run out of pants,
the same thing.
I'll like change the shirt with the same pant, like, and then one week it's like all that outfit,
Yeah.
and
There
then
you
the
go.
next week it's like jean and like I don't know.
Well, it's gonna help you make new outfits.
No, it will because
There
it's
you
gonna
go.
notice that I dress the same every day.
Exactly.
Honestly, same. It's like it is motivating to get dressed differently because I have so many of the same outfits that I'm like, wait, I need to change this up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll help you.
Because you're actually going to start seeing it. If not, I'm just like, whatever, another day.
Oh,
Oh my God.
So
Thanks,
true.
Kat. Well, everything sounds incredible. I think you're killing it and you're going to keep killing it.
We're gonna spread this app around Miami because I need more people to know about it.
I would love to come and do a Miami event. So
Yes.
whenever you guys think is best.
Winter.
Whenever. Yeah. I was going to say like maybe
Or
February.
spring, yeah.
Like February, March.
Not when it's hot out, please.
Yeah. Right now it's like, the end of the year, but I think February, March is a good time. April.
Yeah.
Those are good times.
Honestly, we can co-host something. That would be so fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so okay. I'm like going on a tangent now. I'm thinking about April because I'm going to Stagecoach. I'm like, oh, it's gonna make me my Stagecoach outfits.
Yes. Honestly,
my
we use
God.
that as the biggest example is like find me my Coachella outfit. And
Yes. Oh
make
my
it
God,
so-
amazing. Okay, everybody, Kat, pimp yourself out, pimp out Tote. Where can everybody find you and the app?
So you can find the app in the App Store or mytote.app to sign up. We're on socials. It's at Tote App on TikTok, it's toteapp.ai on Instagram. And if you want to follow my founder
Yes.
account, at Kat Sheppard 1, I think. I don't know. Kat Sheppard Building Tote is the name.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Kat.
Kat.